Suzanne, welcome back. You had been pretty clear about the quarter in your pre-announce, mostly about the seasonality of tax season coming a little bit later this year. Can you kind of explain why that's happening?
Yeah, sure, Carl. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And as you said, we reiterated 26 to 28% top line growth. And really, what we experienced is just a shift in tax filing from our second quarter to the third quarter. The great news is everybody has to file their taxes by April 18th. And, I would tell you in my 17 years in the company and having run TurboTax for 3 years, we've continued to see a shift, consumers filing their taxes later and later in the season because now they can. You have digital platforms like ours that are available, and now you can have access to expertise virtually from wherever you want it. And more and more folks just simply feel comfortable to file later in the season. So that's really what we're seeing. The great news is, based on our own analysis, our early season data tells us we are actually taking share. So we're really pleased with our progress so far.
That's interesting. So they don't need to start preparing that much in advance, given the productivity tools. Does any of it relate to increased complexity, crypto earnings, things like that?
Not really. That's not what's driving the shift to the right. I mean, if you just sort of look at a graph over the last, 10 years, you continue to see more and more folks shifting when they do their taxes, and particularly doing their taxes the last couple of days in April. With that said, we do believe, based on all the data that we all see, there are so many more folks that are either self-employed or made investments in whether it's stock or crypto. And we've actually revamped our whole experience with experts that really actually understand both stocks and crypto to help our customers, in these times where they're wondering what's the implication on my taxes. But we don't believe that's driving the shift. It's just consumer behavior.
Suzanne, I'd love to get your take on this ongoing effort by Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, to have the IRS give people the power to actually do their own taxes with their own information. She tweeted, again, this was going on during the summer and more recently even. Intuit spent years chasing profits under the guise of helping low-income taxpayers. The government shouldn't be relying on private industry to provide essential services. The IRS can and should create its own free tax preparation and filing system. What's your response to this effort?
Well, first of all, we are big believers in voluntary taxes. We believe that every consumer should be able to do their own taxes, and or if they need an expert to help them, they should be able to do that. We also believe those that have simple filings should have the ability to be able to file their taxes for free. So we are big believers in this effort and have invested in really proposing that the tax system should be simpler so more and more folks can do their taxes. We also believe that the IRS should really focus on the benefits and administrating the refund versus in essence doing people's taxes. But nevertheless, we are very comfortable with however it turns out, because our belief is consumers have access to doing their taxes across private industry, many for free. And there's also a belief that consumers want to do their taxes themselves and have control over their refund and their deductions. And so that has been our belief for years, but we're big fans of voluntary taxes. Consumers know the story of their life better than anybody else, and they should be able to control it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.